In an unexceptional town speckled with once bright facades now fading under the sun's relentless gaze, there lived Theo, a writer whose stories never ended. Every morning, Theo sat before his typewriter in a cramped apartment lined with books that seemed to whisper forgotten conversations. His fingers danced over the keys, but the ribbon was dry. The stories were silent. He lived in limbo, not quite failing, not quite succeeding, eternally on the cusp of an elusive breakthrough. It was on a particularly silent Thursday afternoon that Theo received a package containing nothing but a mirror framed in ornate silver. No note, no sender. The reflection it offered was peculiar. It didn't mirror his Spartan room, but revealed a lush, vibrant meadow under a brilliantly surreal cerulean sky. Curiosity piqued. Theo stepped closer and, as postmodern tales often go, stepped right through. Instantly, he found himself not falling, but floating down a narrative spiral. Verses whispered breezes, prose painted sceneries, and dialogues rustled like leaves underfoot. He landed softly, surrounded by words that blossomed like flowers. "Welcome to the unwritten," a voice boomed, seeming to come from the sky and the ground and the air itself. Theo discovered each moment in the unwritten was a story paused, mid-breath, mid-action, mid-thought, awaiting someone to choose its adventure. With each step, paths forked and branched, not in space, but in plot lines and genres. Characters, previously flat and confined by the pages of half-finished books, greeted him eagerly, jostling to share their tales, to be more than just words on a page. This enthralling labyrinth was guarded by the editor, a towering figure armed with a red pen, tidying up errant subplots, pruned exposition, too lush for their own good. The editor caught sight of Theo. Recognizing not just a wanderer, but a weaver of words, another potential architect of narrative worlds. "Do you understand?" it asked, with a voice like paper rustling against paper. Theo nodded, understanding dawning in him like a sunrise in his chest. Here, in a land of unfinished stories, he could write endings, he could spin beginnings, and he was free to explore every conceivable what-if. Each sentence he completed rooted deeper into this fertile narrative ground. Each paragraph blossomed vibrant and vital. Days or perhaps decades passed, for time, after all, was an agreeable illusion in the unwritten, as Theo wandered, wrote, and lived 1,000 lives in tandem. Noble knights ventured forth at his behest, star-crossed lovers found solace or sorrow through his typewriter, empires rose and fell at the command of his pen. Yet each story ended at sunrise, concluded but never closed, allowing new tales to bud at sunset. One morning, after an eternity or an instant, Theo found a path lined with pages, each fluttering eagerly as if to catch his attention. It led him back to the ornate mirror, now reflecting his old room, his old life. He stood there, at the juncture between realms, the typewriter's silent invitation echoing in his real room. The choice was simple yet immense. Stay in the unwritten, where every dawn brought new stories, or return to his world, where his silent typewriter and unfinished manuscripts awaited. Theo smiled, understanding the gift of the unwritten, not escape but inspiration. He stepped through the mirror with a heart full of tales, ready to dissolve the silence of his typewriter. Back in his chair, Theo found the ribbon suddenly wet with ink, and the keys alive under his fingers. Words flowed, effortless and exhilarating. His stories were no longer silent, but sang with the echoes of 1,000 lives, lived in a world where every ending was merely the beginning of another story waiting to be told. Outside, the sun dipped below the horizon, the town still unexceptional, but inside, Theo's room pulsed with the vibrant spectra of unfolding narratives, each more vivid and enthralling than the last, all converging into the symphony of his imagination, echoing into the tomorrows that awaited, their turn to be written.